Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and today I want to chat with you guys a little bit about something I've observed over the decades, something I've had to come to terms with as a coach, had to come to terms with looking at the data, looking at my own clients, looking at lifters, for 25 years. One of the big problems we have with building a big bench press is that there's so many misnomers about it, and people don't want to accept that it really is a chest exercise, and that the chest will always be the primary mover in the bench. In any study that you ever look at on the bench press, it's always chest activation leading the way. Different grips, different techniques, different things can cause more tricep recruitment, more shoulder recruitment, but by and large, the pecs will always take the brunt of the weight. And this is one of the things I've noticed. People go out of their way to try to get the chest out as much as possible. So again, bouncing off the chest, obviously, creating a big arch. But if it comes over to just straight raw benching, and if you're going to do a flat back without a massive arch, you have to have a big chest. And conversely, it will build a big chest. And I'm not saying the bench is the only thing we should ever use. You're going to see me in this same video. This is all from the same workout as these bench sets of me doing incline, me doing pullovers with a straight arm. All right, we need other stuff to build our chest. But by and large, I have found over the years the guys with the biggest chests usually move big numbers on the bench. They're capable of it. Now, am I saying that building other muscles doesn't help? No, I'm not saying that at all. Bigger triceps should, in theory, contribute, but that's true with any big exercise. If you build any of the primary movers up bigger and stronger, a lift is going to go up. Okay, a lift is going to go up, no matter what. To some extent, at least we'll raise the potential. But one of the things I've noted as a coach with a lot of my lifters, if I take a lifter who has really weak triceps and their triceps are a weak link on their bench, okay, and we can spot this pretty easy, and I have them do a bunch of tricep work, invariably their bench goes up 20 pounds. And when I say that with a weak link on it, I don't mean a novice. So when I'm not talking about 20 pounds, where you guys are like, well, I put 20 pounds on my bench doing whatever, and I got it up to 180 to 200. No, I'm talking guys stuck at 305 and have weak triceps. Okay, we bring their triceps up and they bench 325. But I also have lifters who have a chest weakness and they have really, really, really strong triceps. Okay, and we do their tricep work and their tricep lifts all go up and up and up, and their bench doesn't scale. In other words, unless we get their chest bigger, it will not scale. So if I take a lifter who already has pretty strong triceps, we do more tricep work and they get stronger on their JM presses. They get stronger on their extensions. They get stronger on all this stuff. Okay, they get stronger on all this stuff. Their bench doesn't always go up in the same ratios, meaning I have watched the lifters put 25 pounds on their JM press work sets and their bench goes up 5 pounds. And I'm talking over months. What I have always observed, though, is that if I can get your chest bigger, your nice wide grip bench, like that, will go up. Now, their close grip may go up. And I mean close grip, I'm talking all the way, at the edges of the smooths, right? A 16-inch apart grip. That's standard on a barbell, right? The smooths go 16 inches across, the rings are 32 inches across on a standardized barbell. But if their chest gets bigger, everything goes up. Doesn't matter what I use, whether it's incline, whether it's dips, tons of pause benching, dumbbells, whatever. If the chest gets bigger, the bench goes up. And step back and think about what you guys know. When you see the people who aren't massive and they have a big bench, and then you see them shirtless, what's one of the things you always notice? They always have really big pecs. And that was also a giveaway too. Yeah, a really big upper body equals a big bench. But what happens when you see one of these guys who is not really big? We've all seen guys who bench 400 plus out there who aren't massive. Okay, they're under 200 pounds. I'm gonna say anyone 180 or under, unless they're really short. I'm not talking about really short guys. They're an outlier too. But when you see them bench 400 plus, you're always like, oh, that guy's got 15-inch arms. How's he doing that? And have all this other support musculature, but then you see their chest, and they have really big, thick pecs. They might have a light frame, but there's a big pec stretched across it every time. Okay, and I remember both Paul Carter and Dan Green talked about this stuff, over 10 years ago of the misnomers that came out of the powerlifting world that the bench press is a tricep exercise. But that was all shirted benching. That came from the equipped world. That came out of West Side and everywhere else where they were using shirts. Okay, and I'm not saying all that tricep work won't contribute, because it will. But those guys had built up monstrous benches and multiply, and some of them still benched 500 plus raw. But the lift became disproportionately tricep, because you have a shirt that might be applying 500, 600 pounds of force out of the bottom, right? The point where the chest does the most work, and then you set up a big arch with it on top of it. Well, yeah, that matters. And you see guys like that, they can do a JM press with 225 for reps. Okay. Well, that's different. And that is all tricep. And they were just so big and strong from the other stuff that it carried over. All right, but they still, a lot of times they did a bunch of dumbbell pump work and stuff still for pecs after you saw a lot of that. They still pumped them up. Then you got the same thing from bodybuilders who then caught on to that. Oh yeah, the bench press is not a great chest exercise, but it turned out it really is in the lab. It turns out it really is historically. Okay. It'll build your chest, done correctly. And again, it comes down to form. Look how much power lifters, because they're gaming the system, have worked on trying to remove the chest. Right? If you can grip it really wide, you can even take chest out of the bottom and make it more delt. All the way to illegal wide. But the big arch on top of that, they're trying to take the chest out of the exercise because it will be the weak link. It will be the weak link. But if you get really big pecs, you learn to pause bench. You get to where you can pause and then drive a big weight off your chest fast, you will almost always lock it. Right? You almost always lock it. Chest matters. It really is about having a big chest if you want a big bench. At least if you want a bench like you see me benching here, with not a big arch. I have long arms, heels flat on the floor, long pause. You need chest for that, guys.